Easy Posse, how we doing? Mr. Boulder back today with a CD and cassette update video. Not showing any CDs on the channel for a long time. I picked up a bunch of cool cassettes over the last few months. So after the usual sip of coffee, going to get straight into it. Now the first CD I'm going to show, I'm not going to talk about in any great length because I've actually reviewed it on the channel already. And I've showed the cassette in the last cassette update. So I'm not going to talk about the first one for too much. It's Metallica's 72 Seasons. Yep, that's right. I picked it up on all formats. Best album since the Black Album. And that's all I'm going to say about that one. Up next, something I got for my birthday a while back. And here's the best of Prince. Absolutely love Prince. Fantastic musician. Great singer. Great songwriter. Died way too early. You haven't even got to be into metal to know who this guy is. Fantastic guy. An excellent songwriter. So many great songs on this, like 1999, stuff that everyone will know. Little Red Corvette, When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, Purple Rain, fantastic guitar solo in that song. I Would Die For You, Raspberry Beret, Alphabet Street, etc, etc, etc. Just a fantastic compilation of his best stuff. 17 tracks here, and not a bad one amongst them. Yeah. Died way too young and much missed. Excellent guy. Prince, best of. That's a nice CD I picked up a few months ago. Excellent stuff there. Up next, Motley Crue and their self-titled album from 1994. I've got this already as part of their Music to Crush Your Car 2 box set, but I wanted this standalone CD as well. Absolutely massively underrated album, which doesn't get anywhere near as much love as it should. The only one to feature John Krabi on the vocals, and he sounds fantastic on this. Just a phenomenal album that so many people don't pay any attention to. And it's not justified at all. The amount of dislike that this album gets is absolutely fantastic. Really, really heavy. There's fantastic stuff on this, like Smoke the Sky, Hooligan's Holiday, Uncle Jack, Power to the Music, Poison Apples, Welcome to the Nun. All the original members, apart from Vince, of course, and Krabi just sounds fantastic. And why people ignore this album like they do, I don't know, because it's one of their best. I would listen to this over Theatre of Pain any day of the week, and I don't care who doesn't like it, sorry. Up next is a brand new album. This is the new one from Metal Church, and this is Congregation of Annihilation, which is absolutely fantastic. Excellent old school sounding heavy metal, traditional heavy metal. New singer who's replaced the dearly departed Mike Howe, and I can't remember his bloody name off the top of my head, but he sounds fantastic. Excellent old school metal style vocals, similar to sort of Rob Halford from Judas Priest, but it's just an excellent album. The title track, Congregation of Annihilation, is brilliant. Children of Life, fantastic song. Me the Nothing, brilliant. These Violent Thrills, All That We Destroy. This is absolutely fantastic. I thought it was going to be good, but it's blown me away even more than I thought I would. This is in the car for about 4 days, or sorry, probably about 5 or 6 actually, straight. Just span it over and over again. It's absolutely great. Excellent guitar work. The vocals are fantastic. Songs are easy to sing along to and get into your head. The new one from Metal Church is an absolute banger. Check it out if you haven't picked it up. Up next, this is the Wildhearts and Fishing for Luckies. I was inspired to pick this up because I saw Ginger Wildheart here at the Crawford Arms in Milton Keynes doing a solo acoustic show, and he played a song from this I'd never heard before. I remember getting the singles from this, but I never picked up the album, so I jumped on Amazon the next day and picked it up, and this is an excellent album. There's great stuff on this, like Inglorious, Sick of Drugs, that was a single which was fantastic, Red Light, Green Light, Soul Searching on Planet Earth, Do the Channel Bop, that was a track he played at the gig, which was fantastic. Roundabouts, In Like Flynn, Night Songs, great stuff from the Wildhearts, the band that doesn't ever get talked about in the VC. And I don't know why. Excellent, energetic rock and roll, definitely with a punk attitude, but with poppy choruses. The Wildhearts Fishing for Luckies, which is from 1996, I believe. 96, a couple of tracks from 94, but it's come out in 96. Excellent album. Up next, some grunge alternative. L7, Bricks Are Heavy. Again, this is an album that's got a song in it that everyone will know, Pretend That We're Dead. It's absolutely everywhere. Played all over MTV back in the day. Still played regularly on rock radio now. Great stuff from these guys. Jennifer Finch, Dee Placus, Donita Sparks, Susie Gardner. Some great vocals from Susie Gardner on this album. I love her vocal delivery. Just a bunch of excellent songs. And I'd never picked this album up literally till about 4 or 5 months ago. And I don't know why I'd waited so long. It's really, really good. First track, Wargasm. Excellent. Some really, really excellent riffing in that song. I really enjoy the lyrics. Vocals are great. An excellent kick-off to this album. It's really good. Scrap, Pretend We're Dead, the one that everyone will know. Everglades, Slide. One More Thing, Mr. Integrity. Monster, Shitlist is another fantastic song. Full of attitude, full of great riffs. Definitely a bit of sort of punk attitude influence on this one. Excellent alternative grunge from 1992. L7's Bricks Are Heavy. I wish I picked it up sooner, but got it now. It's a fantastic album. Up next, you've seen this in my Judas Priest album ranking. I had to pick this up to do the ranking because I'd never actually picked it up. Priest's first album, Rock and Roller, from 1974, which sounds nothing like what the band they went on to become, it has to be said. But this is a good album. There's some definite good stuff in this. There's a few on this that I don't care for. Maybe I don't care for, but I'm not so fussed about. But there's some excellent tracks on it. But for a debut, it sounds nothing like what they went on to be, but some plenty of good stuff on this one. And the follow-up, because I've got this on vinyl, it's in terrible condition. Sad Wings of Destiny from 1976, the second full length. The Rippers on this, which is an absolutely phenomenal song. Victim of Changes. Dream Deceiver is an excellent tune as well. Tyrant's a good track. Again, some ones on this I'm not too keen on, but not a bad album by any stretch of the imagination. But some classic metal here from Judas Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny from 1976. Another one I had to pick up to complete an album ranking video. This is Zentrix and Scourge from 1996. Very different compared to their thrash roots. There's still a bit of thrash in here, but this is much more the sound of the band moving with the times and going with more of a groove style. And I quite like it, actually. It's pretty good. I mean, it's never going to touch the first 2 albums, but there's a lot of good stuff on this. The only problem being here is that you've got a new singer, and because the style of the music is, for the most part, different, it doesn't sound anything like the Zentrix of old. But 13 years, the title track, Court You Live In, The Hand That Feeds Itself, Blood Nation. It's a pretty good album, it's got to be said. It was better than I thought it was going to be. But it has to be said, it doesn't really sound like a Zentrix album. But Scourge from 96 is still a decent listen. And the last of the CDs, this is Crypt Rot, and I can't remember the name. An Ancient Summoning. I was put onto these guys by Liam. It's a really, really good death metal. Only 7 tracks. I'd heard of these guys before, never picked anything up, but this is fantastic. The guitar tone on this album is absolutely phenomenal. The guitars sound fantastic. Brilliant vocals. The drums are absolutely pounding. This is excellent death metal. The Work of Worms, An Ancient Summoning, Ancient Rites, A Pit of Snakes, Diabolically Reborn. 7 tracks, and there's not a bad one amongst them. And just the guitar tone is just phenomenal. Just sounds absolutely amazing. As a guitar player myself, absolutely love the tone. Just sounds phenomenal. Great riffs. Vocals are deep and guttural. Drums are absolutely pounding. Crypt Rot's The Ancient Summoning, which is out this year, I believe. Last year. Excellent stuff. If you're into death metal and not heard this, definitely worth a listen. No doubt about it. Let's go on to some cassettes now. As always, I go through the lighter side of thing and then progress towards more heavier side of stuff. Not up first, an album I got for cassette in 1987. Def Leppard's Hysteria. Played this cassette to death back in the day. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I talked about this album just last week in the video I did for Johnny Mac's 500 subscribers contest. There's The Clear Shell. Great tracks. Pour Some Sugar on Me, Animal, Love Bites, Armageddon It. Fantastic singles, but then excellent deep cuts like Don't Shoot Shotgun, Run Riot, Women, Love and Affection, stuff like that. Fantastic cassette, fantastic album from Def Leppard there. An absolute must for me. This one isn't a must for most people, has to be said, but I still love it. I grabbed the follow-up because the guy had this for sale as well. This is Adrenalize from 1992. Got Let's Get Rocked on it with the ridiculous, I suppose, the rocks out of the question lyric on it. And Make Love Like a Man with some of the worst lyrics you'll ever hear in a chorus. Make love like a man, I'm a man, that's what I am. Those sound like they were written with about 2 minutes before Joe Elliott actually walked into the vocal booth. Fucking terrible lyrics, but I do enjoy the song. But Heaven is great on this as well. Tonight, that's a great ballad. Personal Property, Have You Never Needed Someone So Bad? I Want to Touch You, Tear It Down. I really enjoy this one. A lot of people fell off Def Leppard by this point, but this was a big ad for me back in 1992. Adrenalize is fantastic. I really enjoy it. Up next, some thrash, and here's Testament and The Legacy, their debut from 1987. An absolutely fantastic thrash metal album. Here's The Clear Shell. Some fucking great tunes on this. Some brilliant riffs as well. The guitar work from Alex Skolnick and Eric Peterson is phenomenal. Excellent tracks on this. Over the Wall, everyone knows that tune. It's absolutely fantastic. Riffs are phenomenal. Burnt Offerings, Raging Waters, First Strike Still Deadly, absolutely fantastic song. One of my favourites of theirs, to be honest. Alone in the Dark, Apocalyptic City, just a fantastic debut. Testament's Legacy from 87 is an absolute banger. Had to get on cassette. But for me, even better is The New Order, the follow-up from 1988. Listened to this just the other night. Just an absolutely fantastic album. Yeah, like I said, I prefer this one over the debut. The debu's great, but for me, this is even better. Clear Shell, of course. There's a bunch of great tunes on this as well. The New Order, Trial by Fire, Into the Pit. Those 3 songs in a row, just absolutely fantastic. Disciples of the Watch is an excellent song. The Preacher, A Day of Reckoning. Just an absolutely excellent thrash metal album from 1988. Superb stuff. Had to get on cassette. Picked it up quite cheaply and really happy to grab that. Up next is an album that was absolutely huge back in 1993, and this is Paradise Lost, an icon. This was just absolutely everywhere at the time. I'll never forget it. The videos were all over TV. They were all over all the magazines. An album with no bad songs on. Clear Shell, of course. Ember's Fire, first track, just fantastic stuff. Forging Sympathy is excellent. Jaws of Emptiness, Widow, Colossal Rains, Poison, True Belief, etc., etc. This is a 10 out of 10 album. There are no bad songs on this. The riffs from Greg McIntosh and Aaron Eady are excellent. I love Nick Holmes' vocals. I know a lot of the earlier fans didn't like this. This is them going a much more of a commercial direction. But this is my entry point to Paradise Lost. And for me, Icon from 1993 is an absolutely fantastic, flawless album. No bad songs, all killer, no filler. Back to the thrash now, and here's Forbidden's Twisted into Form. This is an excellent album. A lot of people prefer their debut. I prefer this one personally, but the debut is also a beast. Clear Shell. Russ Anson on the vocals. Great vocalist. One of my favourite vocalists in thrash. Paul Bostaff, who of course went on to be in Slayer after this. Infinite, excellent song. Out of Body, Out of Mind. Absolutely brilliant. I love that song. It's such a good track. Step by Step, Twisted in Form, title track, superb. Tossed Away, One Foot in Hell on side B, an absolute thrash classic from 1990, which should be in every Thrashers collection. Superb stuff from Forbidden. A thrash that will need absolutely no introduction. Slayer's Rain in Blood. Just such a huge album. Again, this is an album that everyone knows. Black Cassette, quite worn out actually, but plays fine. I don't need to talk about this one too much. Angels of Death, Epidemic, Criminally Insane, Reborn, Altar of Sacrifice, stuff like that. The title track, one of my favourite riffs ever. The intro riff to the title track, just excellent stuff. Great vocals from Tom Araya. Riffs are great from Slayer. Let's face it, when it comes to solo, Slayer's never great. And of course, Dave and Byers, excellent drum work. Rain in Blood from Slayer is absolutely fantastic. Some death metal now, Cancer and the Sins of Mankind from 1993, which for me is an album that definitely flies under the radar. Not as good as the first two, it has to be said, but doesn't deserve to be kind of forgotten about the way it can be. I mean, it gets its love, but it doesn't get anywhere near love that the first two get. And this is an absolutely superb album. Cloak of Darkness, first track. Electroconvulsive Therapy, those opening 1-2 are absolutely fantastic. Meat Train's a great track. Suffer for Our Sins, The Conquest, Under the Flag, Under the Radar for me. This one, Cancer's The Sins of Mankind, excellent death metal from here in the UK. Love that album. Up next, an album that doesn't get a lot of love at all, but I like it. This is Cancer's Black Faith from 1995. This is my entry to Cancer, and I know why old school fans don't like this, because it's so different from the first 3 albums. I was going to say the first 2, but it's very different from The Sins of Mankind as well. They'd signed to a major label, East West, so they had to tone things down, of course, and it wasn't well received, and it's not as good as the ones that come before it, but I still really enjoy it. If you take it for what it is, Who Do You Think You Are? Great track. Face to Face, Without Cause is excellent. The title track's excellent. There's a cover in it of Deep Purple Space Trucking. Last track, Save Me From Myself. Not as good as the ones that come before it, but still really, really good stuff that I really enjoy. Up next, my other gateway death metal album. I talked about Carcass's Heartwork last week, and here is Entombed's Wolverine Blues. Again, this is different from the first 2. The first 2 was straight up death metal. This was the introduction to Death and Roll. Clear Shell, and I love this album. It's absolutely fantastic. The much missed Lars Goran Petrov on the vocals. Rest in peace, LG. Alex Helen on the guitar. Nick Anderson on the drums. Some great riffs on this. The guitar tane's fantastic. LG's vocals are great. I Master, Rotten Soul, title track, phenomenal riff. I absolutely love that riff. Demon's great. Full of Hell, Blood Song. Hollow Man is an excellent song. Ends with Out of Hand. An excellent slice of death metal, or death and roll, if you will. Absolutely love this album. Fantastic stuff. Now I've got it on all formats. Superb album. Absolutely love that one. Beast, Carcass, Necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious from 1991. It's just a fucking amazing death metal album. OG Cassette on the Clear Shell on Earache. Just an absolutely amazing album. Some fucking huge riffs on this. Oh god, it's just an absolute beast. When I first got this on CD back in about 1999, I just listened to it constantly. Blew me away. Let's have a look at some of the tracks. Corporal Jigsaw Conjury is amazing. Love that intro guitar riff and the way that the drums follow the riff. Symposium of Sickness, Pedigree Butchery. Incarnate Solvent Abuse is probably the heaviest riff ever in that song. It's just such a great track. Other stuff on side B, which is a bit hard to read, to be honest. I'm not going to bother trying to read them. But just an absolutely fantastic slice of death metal. Carcass's Necroticism from 1991 is an absolute beast. And there's one more to show, and this is another absolute beast in the world of death metal. Heading over to Florida for Deicide's Legion, their second full length from 1992, which absolutely punishing from start to finish. Just an absolutely excellent album. Really, really punishing. Excellent riffage. Great vocals from Glenn Benton. The drums from Steve Asheimer, absolutely phenomenal. And he's still absolutely killing on the drums now. White Shell. And an album just full of really, really excellent, nasty, brutal death metal. Satan Spawn the Caco Demon, Dead But Dreaming, fantastic song. Repent to Die, excellent, excellent songs. Holy Deception, In Hell I Burn, that's amazing. And Revocate the Agitator ends on. Essential Death Metal, an absolute punishing album, which is over and done within 30 minutes. Deicide's Legion, their second full length from 1992, is one I had to get on cassette. And here it is, and I'm very glad to have it in the collection. Right guys, that's it for this week. So thank you very much as always for watching. And if you've made it to the end, yes, thank you very much. It's much appreciated. As always, get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these pickups. I should be back with you soon. So until then, as always, cheers, take care, and I'll see you soon.